Here is a true story from Reddit. The link to the story is in the description below. Enjoy. My name is Annie. I'm 21 years old. I want to share a story from the times of my childhood. I was 10, maybe 11. I was a shy, innocent, cute kid, and I attended a small elementary school. As a child, I was very interested in books, so I would often stay in the school's library after the school day had ended, sometimes well into the evening. My mother's friend was the librarian, so she would often trust me and give me the key so that I could lock up after I was finished. On one of my long nights, I had got caught up in reading an interesting book and suddenly realized it was around 7 p.m. I decided to lock up and head home. I packed my things and closed down the library. School is completely different at this time. There are no people crowded in the corridors, no laughs, no conversations, only a calming silence. I took a deep breath of the fresh air and started walking downstairs towards the exit. I grabbed the doorknob, but it doesn't turn. It's locked. I kept my calm because Miss Librarian warned me about such a possibility. She told me if this ever happened, I was to go to the cleaning lady's room and ask them to unlock and open the door for me. If they're not there, then I should just take the key myself and after locking up behind me, give the key to my mom. She would then give it back to her in the morning. I entered the cleaning lady's room, but no one was around, so I decided to take the key. I skipped down the hall towards the exit. When I got to the exit, I suddenly saw a man standing behind the door. I almost fell backwards on the ground. The school's front door was facing west, so the setting sun gave the man a dark, ominous look. Although looking through the door's glass, he looked more goofy than he did scary. Sorry for scaring you, he said with an awkward smile, scratching the back of his head. I have a package from Mr. Nolan, the principal, pointing his finger at a box behind him. It was even large enough for me to fit inside. But Mr. Nolan isn't here, I said. Is there any of the school staff? It's very important, he said with a worried look on his face. I was just a gullible kid back then, so I answered honestly. No, it's just me. The man stopped to think for a moment, then said, Well, it's very, very important. So could you please let me in? I didn't want to get in trouble and be scolded by the principal, so I decided to do it. But then I noticed a few odd details. Even though he was a delivery man, I didn't see any logos or a company name on his clothing. It seemed suspicious. When I asked him to show me his ID, he said, Since I was in a hurry, I left it all on my work desk. Please open the door. I'm already very late. I wished he had just shown some proof, but now I was even more unsure. Little girl, open up please. I'm only gonna deliver the package to the principal's office and then I'm gone. So open the door, please. Okay? It's an incredibly tough choice for a little kid. Tons of responsibility. So I just stood there thinking. He just kept saying, Open the door. Open the door, please. You don't want to fail Mr. Nolan, do you? Just use the key and open the door, please. Open the door. Open the door. Just open the goddamn door! He started hitting the glass with his fists. I jumped backwards on the floor, terrified. I said open up! I immediately started crying and ran away from the door. Panicking, I couldn't figure out what to do. The fear of him breaking in by force paralyzed me. I just wanted the noise and the man to be gone, but I realized that's not going to happen. Collecting all my will and wits, I took out my phone and with shaking hands started to push the buttons. 9, 1, 1. He kept hitting and I kept crying. I was terrified by the thought of the door giving in. Hopefully it didn't. I got connected to the police station and asked for help. The police cars had arrived shortly after. One of the officers picked me up and put me in his arms, and we started walking outside. I was scared to death, still hearing the banging inside my head. The man was gone, and although he had vanished, he left one thing behind: The package. Another policeman had opened it just as we were going to the car. I had a chance to take a quick look at it. It was a big wooden box with an outside lock and couldn't be opened from the inside. Also, there were handcuffs attached at one end to a metal bar. Did Mr. Nolan order handcuffs or what? I remember wondering as a kid, confused. At the time, I didn't know what it was all about. However, today as I look back on it, I know with great terror in my heart that the fact that I could fit inside the box was no coincidence. I never saw the man again, but I can only imagine what kind of twisted things would have happened if I had opened the door. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time.